Got the Sony G Master 50 to 150 f2, and as far as
50 to 150 f2.
New Sony 50 to 150 millimeter f2 G Master.
150 f2 G Master lens.
It's time to talk about photography lenses. So right here in my hands, I have the Sony 7200. This is the second version of it. Phenomenal lens, does everything I could ever want. Beautiful, great images. I have zero complaints about this lens. In fact, it is probably my second most used lens at this point. I love this thing. Over here, I've got Sony. They're 85. This is the GM version 1. Phenomenal lens. Actually, my current all-time favorite lens. Right now, I'm shooting on the Sony 35 G Master 1.4. I don't think there's a version 2, so I'm shooting on that right now. Phenomenal lens, takes great images. But is that what's really important with photography lenses? So, I'll admit, I'm spoiled. I came to the photography game seriously much later than everybody else. I didn't really deal with the 5Ds. I've shot on Nikon 2000s DSLRs. I've shot on some shitty digicams. But for the most part, the bulk of my photography journey has been on mirrorless cameras like the one I'm shooting on now. And that has been a luxury because it's probably the best time to ever get into photography. There are no bad cameras, there are no bad lenses, there's no bad gear. As long as it's from a reputable manufacturer, you're getting a good product. Whether it's Sony, Canon, Fuji, even Nikon, you're getting a good product. And it's great. With the recent release of the Sony 50 to 150 f2, I started to wonder, is being a good lens really the most important thing for us, right? When it comes to lenses like these, if I just want the cleanest, best, most practical, most pushable image possible, the G Master lenses are the clear-cut best option. There's no compatibility issues, there's no manufacturer place limitations. They can shoot anything, everything, everywhere, no problems. The images are great. But I've come to wonder, why is it that all we value in photography is having the cleanest image possible? And this comes from mainly my experience in the cinema world. So though I am not a DP and I will never claim to be as such, I work with a lot of cinematographers. And one of the biggest differences between photo and video is their lens selection. So if you're doing just basic videography, corporate stuff, you're probably shooting on G Master lenses. You'll be hard pressed to find a DP that's working, making full-time money, saying his favorite lenses are the Sony G Master lenses, or the Canon RF lenses, or whatever the fucking Nikon's got that going on. These just aren't the lenses that they're going for. And in fact, this is a very, very low end of something they might go for. And I think this is exactly what we need in photography. What I've got in my hands are two of Seure's cine lenses. So right off the bat, this is not for everybody. And in fact, I would say a lot of photographers are not going to agree with what I'm about to say, but hear me out for just a second. I think these lenses are the exact inspiration we need in photography. One of the first consideration DPs take on any project is, what is the feel of the project they want, right? Does it need to feel nostalgic? Does it need to feel emotional? Does it need to feel intimate? Whatever the answer to that question is, that's something they're considering at the very front of the project. And one of the most important tools we have is our lenses. Every cinema lens is different. Right here in my hands, I've got the Seure Nightwalker lenses. I've actually got the whole collection. I'm missing the 24, but it's behind me in my camera cabinet back there. And these lenses have a very specific look and feel to them. I'm gonna post some footage, both stuff I've taken and have not taken, just so you can kind of see what these are for. Predominantly, these are meant to be shot at night. They go all the way to T1.2, which similar-ish to f1.2. Not exactly one-to-one, but similar-ish enough for our purposes. And what every cinema lens has, no matter if it's Cooke, if it's Seure, if it's any other camera manufacturer you could think of, they have a specific feel to them. When I pick up a Sony 85-1.4, the only look this lens has is the 85mm. But if you take two different 50mm sitting lenses, and I'm holding 35, it is what it is. But if you take two different sitting lenses, both at 35mm, they could look completely fucking different. It's because these lenses are physically designed to have imperfections within them. Let me say that again. These guys are designed to be fuck-ups, and that's exactly what makes them so cool. These lenses are designed to be perfect, and they are. It is very hard to take bad images with these. As long as you are a competent photographer, you can take a good image on these. However, these guys, you gotta work a little bit for it. So let me rewind a little bit and tell you what made me come to this conclusion. About maybe a year and a half ago, I bought a set of these sitting lenses just for fun. I wasn't really planning on doing any serious video filmmaking with them. I just bought them. I had a little of extra cash. I got them at a decent sale, and I bought them. I got three lenses. I got a 24, a 35, and a 55. All three of these are crop sensor lenses, so I'm having to crop in. You can do the math. Basic gist, I bought these a little while ago. I used them maybe once or twice, put them in my camera cabinet, haven't touched them since. Fast forward to last week, two of my best friends got married and they rented a beach house for us to stay in. Also, Jason and Lexi, if you're watching this, congratulations again. I hope you two have a wonderful marriage. And when I'm packing my camera bag, of course I packed my 7200, I packed my 35, which I'm shooting on now. And I packed a couple batteries, the usual stuff. For me, I always bring at least one lens just to have fun with, just because, right? Usually I bring my Pentax 50mm 1.4, the Super Takumara, but for whatever reason this trip, I just wasn't feeling it. And then I look over and I notice I have a trio of lenses that I haven't touched in a while. I remember loving them, I love the picture out of them, but I just had not had the chance to shoot them again. And so I said, fuck it, bring with me to Florida. When I tell you that these are my favorite images I've taken in quite a long time, I cannot understate it. These were so fucking fun to use. They have this pseudo nostalgic, pseudo soft, pseudo creamy. It almost feels like I'm shooting with a pro mist filter, but not quite. It's in that realm, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And ultimately, the word I would use is dreamy. That's how these feel. Dreamy, dreamy, dreamy. Now, for me and my work, that is perfect. I've always liked my pictures to have just a little bit of sense of magic to them, a little bit of dreaminess to them, a little bit of not perfectly real. So for me, this specific set of sitting lenses is perfectly up my alley. It's exactly what I'm going for. It's got it natively in the lens. That's not to say that this lens will work for everybody. In fact, for most of you, I don't think a lot of you would hate it, especially if you're only used to stuff like this, which are meant to be clean. However, showing some of the images I've got on screen, these feel amazing to me. So anyway, as I was editing these images and just looking up and showing the camera, they were fucking fun. And this made things fun to do again. It was great. Usually when I'm on vacations, I don't usually like to pick up my camera. I'm trying to chill, relax, have a good time, hang out with some of my best friends that I haven't seen, regularly in years because I've moved away. But this lens made me want to cheat a little bit and have some fun with it. Now, even though I'm sitting here glazing these lenses, I actually don't think these lenses themselves are the solution to our photography. They are through and through lenses meant to be used as cinema. They are not meant for photography. You can use them that way, but it is like working twice as hard to do the same thing. For example, this is meant to be used with a focus pulling system. So even the slightest amount of movement is going to knock off your focus. And it's all manual focus. There's zero autofocus in here whatsoever. Again, cinema lens through and through. They don't want autofocus at all in cinema. Not to mention lack of stabilization, only being able to be used in a crop sensor format, and overall having a very, very long focus throw. So even though I love this thing, it is not the photography solution we need. It's just not what it's meant for. However, if we were to put someone with the creative minds of CRA, with the technical know-how of maybe Sony or any of their engineers, we can combine both the creative look of a cine lens with the photography conveniences like autofocus, having a much firmer aperture ring, all the little buttons and dials, all the premium shelling that goes into a nice lens like this. Having all of that combined together into one lens, that would be the solution to our issues. But most importantly, I don't want the clean image of this. I want the image of this, just with the conveniences of this. This is pretty. This is boring. This is hard to use. This is brain dead easy to use. I feel like I'm having to work to take good pictures out of this. Taking good pictures out of here is not an issue at all. I love my G Master lenses. I have no issues with them, and in fact, I keep buying more of them. I just wish that there was a line of photography-specific lenses that forced a creative look out of here. I don't need another perfect camera lens. We have a million of them. And even if they updated all the current G Master lenses they have, there'd be no reason for me to upgrade. Hell, they just released a newer model of this 8514 from Sony. I didn't even care to check it out seriously because this lens is already really fucking good. It does everything I need to. Sure, maybe the second lens is better, but is it that much better that I need to sell this one and get a new one? I don't think the answer to that question is yes. I'm glad to be photographing in a time where there are no more bad lenses. It's great. No matter what manufacturer, no matter what gear, as long as from any of the reputable brands, everything is so fucking good. Hell, even some of the third-party gear, like Sigma, even Tamron, making great gear. If you even go for the super cheap end, like the Rokinon, Samyang, they're making some decent quality products here as well. So we are spoiled. And I'm begging to be spoiled a little more. Give me some lenses that have some creative flair. Give me some lenses that have the conveniences of modern photography lenses. Put them together. I'd be willing to spend a lot of money on that, right? So let me know what you think down below. Let me know if I'm crazy. I promise you I'm not. Get your hands on the same lens and try one if you have not. I promise you they're tedious, but you'll see exactly what I mean when you take your first look at your pictures. Otherwise, peace out. See you next time.